Picture this. It's 1 a.m., you're lying in bed, and you're just casually scrolling through TikTok. You weren't even planning to open the app, it kinda just, happened. And then out of nowhere, an ad pops up for those exact shoes you were looking at earlier today. And not just any shoes, the specific ones. Same color and everything. And you think, okay, that's weird. But then you keep scrolling. That moment right there, that's not a glitch. And that's not a coincidence either. That's a billion-dollar system working exactly the way it was supposed to. So today, we're talking about how free apps make money. Because nothing is ever free. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what I mean. So let's start with the obvious question. Why are some apps free, and why some apps aren't? Stuff like Minecraft, Netflix, and Spotify Premium cost money. You pay once, or every month, and then you get the thing. Simple. But then you have stuff like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, completely free to download, free to use, no credit card needed. You've probably even used at least 2 of those today. And none of them ask you for a single cent. So what's the catch? The most obvious way free apps make money is through ads. You already know this, but what most people don't know is how targeted those ads actually are. It's not like a billboard on a highway where everyone driving past sees the same thing. It's more like, imagine if the billboard could change, depending on who was looking at it. A sneakerhead drives by and it shows Jordans. A family dad drives by and it shows a brand new set of tools. And that's basically what's happening on your phone. Here's how that one works. So every time you use an app, it's watching. Not in a creepy movie villain way, but it is paying attention. What videos you watch all the way through, what posts you stop scrolling on, what time of the day you're most active, and what you search for. All of that gets collected and used to build a profile of who you are. Then the app takes that profile and sells ad space based on it. So a company that sells running gear can say, show my ad to people aged 18 to 30 who watch fitness content and have been searching for running shoes. And instead of paying to reach 1 million random people, they're paying to reach 10,000 people who are already interested. And that's way more valuable to them. So the flow would look like this. You use the app studies and keeps track of your behavior. It builds a profile of that behavior. It sells that profile to advertisers. Advertisers pay to advertise to those profiles of people. The app makes revenue to keep itself running, and you get to keep scrolling for free. Now I know what you're thinking. They're selling my data? And the answer is, kind of, but not in the way that most people would assume. They're not selling a file with your name, address, and search history to some random company. What they're actually selling is access to you, your attention, your interests, and your predicted behavior. Here's a real example. Let's say you've been watching a lot of cooking videos lately. The app notices. It doesn't tell Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Tools brand, hey, this guy's name's Alex, and here's their phone number, here's where they live. It just says, we have a group of users who are really into cooking right now. Do you want to run an ad for them? And the brand says yes, and then pays for it. So they're not selling your data, they're selling a version of you, your habits, your interests, and what you're likely to click on next. And that version, with a lot of you, is worth a lot of money. This is why TikTok knowing that you looked at those shoes makes sense now. Your phone, your apps, your browser, they're all connected in ways that share behavioral information. And advertisers use all of it to figure out the right moment to show you something that you're already thinking about buying. Here's where it gets a little interesting, and maybe a bit uncomfortable. Why does TikTok have infinite scroll? Why does YouTube autoplay the next video before you even decide you want to watch it? Why do apps send you a notification for something at 11 p.m. that could easily wait until the morning? None of that is by accident. Every single one of those features was designed by a team of very smart people whose job is to keep you on the app as long as possible. And the logic behind that is pretty simple. The longer you stay on the app, the more ads you see. The more ads you see, the more money the app makes. It's simple. Infinite scroll was initially designed to copy the feeling of a slot machine. You keep pulling, and maybe the next thing you're gonna get is really, really good. And just like a slot machine, it's hard to know when to stop. So when you open TikTok just to check one thing and suddenly it's been 2 hours, you didn't lose track of time. Well, technically you did, but that was just the app doing its job. So ads are the biggest piece, but it's not the only thing. Some apps use what's called a freemium model. The app itself is free, but the best version of it costs money. Spotify would be a classic example. The free app version works, but you're singing through ads every few songs and you can't skip the tracks. Pay for premium and all of that disappears. The free version isn't the product, it's the demo, and it's there to get you hooked so that eventually you pay for the real product. Then there's in-app purchases, and this one's massive in mobile games. The game itself is free, but then you're buying extra lives, new characters, paying for faster progress, or a cool skin that makes your character look amazing. You're not paying to play, you're paying to play better. Or to show off. Games like Fortnite make hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and the base game costs nothing to download. Some apps also share a cut with their creators. YouTube runs ads on videos and splits that revenue with the people making the content. That way, the creator gets paid, YouTube gets paid, and the advertiser reaches their audience. Everyone gets a piece. Everyone wins. The app is basically running a marketplace and taking a commission on every transaction. And finally, some apps would sell data insights to other businesses. Not your personal information, but trends. Like, searches for portable chargers went up 40% this month among college students. And companies pay good money for that kind of information because it helps them decide what to make, what to stock, and where to advertise it. The app just happens to be sitting a large mountain of this information. So, what does this all mean? Here's the thing. None of this is automatically bad. Ads are literally what pays for the apps that you use every single day for free. Without them, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, they either cost money or they don't exist. But it's worth understanding how it works, because once you do, you start to see things a bit differently. That random ad that knew exactly what you wanted, now you know where it came from. That autoplay that kept you up until 2 a.m., now you know what it was doing. There's a saying in tech. If you're not paying for the product, then you are the product. And now you know exactly what that means. I'm Jay, and this is Jay Explains. Have a great rest of your day. Like and subscribe.